Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Kahala Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Wahakardash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yakim, pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is Matthew from the GMS Dallas camp, and wanted to go into to a quick lesson. Lord willing, this to be edifying. We're seeing that things are getting more and more intense here in Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, and with that being said, what would you do when things get really hard? All right, they going into how there's not going to be a slowdown in the increase in the prices of your commodities or your food, these things that are actually raising up due to inflation. And what's this going to cause? Hyperinflation in due time. Reason being, because the money that was going, like say, to Russia or to China, the dollars, all these are about to cease. So you're going to see more and more dollars being flooded back into America, and that is one of the means to cause a hyperinflation. Now, when that happens, while that's going on, you're seeing these other nations and things are getting together to what? For ramping up for what? World War III. As it says, like it said in Joel, is they're setting up for the in the Valley of Jehoshaphat for it's going to be that great war is about to start, and that's that third woe that the scripture talks about. So I want to get this right here. This is Matthew 24, verse 7. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking, and it's all read. Now, Yahweh Shai, that is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. That is his true Hebrew name, all right? And the Father, okay, the living power, okay, is Yahweh, okay? So this is Yahweh Shai speaking, Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All right. Now, this is when he's speaking with the disciples, and the disciples were saying, hey, let us know, Lord, when will these things be, and where the kingdom will be at hand. And Esau's kingdom will be brought low. Because in that time, that was the time of the Roman captivity. Okay. And in that time, Esau was reigning. All right. This is Esau's kingdom that was going on at this time. All right. So Esau been reigning for a while. Like you say, because Job 9:24, the earth was given to the hands of the wicked. And he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he? And the other nations combined it with the wicked ones, which Esau, Edom is the so-called white man. All right. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing America and Russia, and they're actually having they've been combating with one another over what? Ukraine. And that is dealing with, like you say, the grains and the wheat and everything is dealing with, like you say, food. That's why it says and territory and things like that. That's why it says kingdom against kingdom and nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. They're going to rise up against one another, and that brings forth what? Tariffs, okay? Cutting off for imports and things like that, exports, imports. That brings forth what? Famine, all right? And we already see pestilence, and then when you have more and more famine occurring, that's going to bring forth more and more pestilence. Earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So all this is happening. This is the beginning of sorrow. So really, you haven't really seen just the true sorrow that's going to hit here in Babylon the Great. All right, aka the US of A. Because you have people still going out partying, not even giving a damn. And in the same scripture, in the same chapter here, it tells about how they're going to be partying and like the days of Noah. They don't give a damn, partying, marrying, and all of a sudden, what's going to happen? That thief in the night. The famine, the pestilence, the terror, all right, things going to break loose, and all hell's going to break loose And you're gonna have especially the 2/3 of Jake, and just like say Babylon, they're not gonna be looking for it. And when it hits, it's gonna be it's gonna fuck a lot of people's heads up. Excuse my language. All right. It's gonna, and so like the scripture said, what manner of man would you be in these times? Because things are finna get real bad out here. And like you say, they're telling you, they have been letting us know. And like you said, you have your President Joe, he told you. He said it's gonna get bad out here. All right? A lack of food. And here in Babylon, you don't even go, you can't go 3 hours. You can't wake up in the morning, 7:30, and go and make it to 10 o'clock without, I gotta eat something. My sugar running low. All right? So get ready for that. Get ready for it, because this is coming. All right, so this is Romans 8:35. It says, who shall separate us? And who is this going with? All right, who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Okay, and who shall separate it? Who is that? Us. This is going into who? The elect of Israel. All right. And the elect of Israel, we're going into you so-called black, Latinos, and Native Americans, and we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. As it says in James 1:1, basically Israel who is scattered throughout abroad, roughly paraphrasing. All right, it says, who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation or distress? All right, so if you're going to be so stressed out and going through so much that you're going to separate from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, not the elect. All right, let's keep going. Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? Okay, is this gonna deter you and move you away from the love of Yahweh Shem Yahushua for that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? Yahweh Shem Yahushua forbid. All right. Verse 36, as it is written, for their sake we are killed all day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. All right. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. All right. So we are more than conquerors, because what we had to do is basically we put off that carnal ways through Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And when you go into John 17, he said we were bought with a price. We are his. All right. So his, like I say, being that unblemished lamb who basically laid his life down for us to receive salvation, not for the whole nation of Israel, but for the elect. So some of us will have to be martyrs. Okay. Some of us will babies go untouched. But that mercy is going to abide through the elect. Because we know what's coming. As we said in verse 35, that persecution, that famine, that nakedness, that peril, and that sword is coming. But like I said, we're going to conquer. We're going to conquer that through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Verse 37, nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. So the love of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to be that mercy that's going to give us that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be delivered. And we have faith that that's going to happen. All right. Faith is the things that is things to hope for, things that's not seen. And we don't see that, but we know that it's coming. All right. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Bahakadash. Hey, Shalom.